All right, everyone, this is Richard Nikoley, and you know me as the blogger at freetheanimal.com or on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, Pinterest, whatever, but primarily freetheanimal.com. And for a good while I have not done much activity on the blog, a couple of years at least, and so I sold everything in December and I got my ass out of the USA, as I think of it now, just in time. That was, I left December 14th, I'm sorry, January 14th, 2020, landed in Thailand January 16th, up in north, Chiang Mai, and with the intention of staying for about 2 months. So on March 15, I believe it was, I had a flight to Vietnam, the old Saigon, and was going to head out, and the flight got canceled the day before. Anyway, I got so I was able to scramble and get to go up and do a road trip to Myanmar and come back in to extend my visa for a little while as everything progressively locked down. So you could say I got stuck here. I'd intended to be kind of nomadic and, 2 months, 3 months here, move on. And I already figured I'm gonna, instead of being global, I was gonna try to pretty much stick to Southeast Asia. Well, it got even more local than that, and I ultimately ended up doing my visa to stay in Thailand. So I'm a permanent resident now, and I live in what you would call the Northeast, but that's only because it's more like East Central. It's about 30 kilometers away from the Cambodian border, but it's northeast because Thailand goes so far down. It's considered northeast, but it's kind of a little bit north and quite a bit east from Bangkok. That's where it's situated in a province called Sisaket. In the general area in Thailand regarded as Isan, there's heavily influence of Laos and Cambodia in this area. A lot of people speak the languages, the foods are similar, so on and so forth. But it's very rural, and I love it. It's boring, which is what I need. So anyway, what I'm up to, I'm staying here. I've built a house, and I've actually started a couple of entrepreneurial things. I said, well, if I'm going to stay here, I need to figure out how to make money in Thailand. I have my online activities, which are global, but I'm actually doing stuff here, and so that's a lot of fun. I have posts for that, so I'm ramping up my activities. Part of that is because moving here has had got me off of alcohol permanently, and I'm loving it. I'd like to say now I've tried life with alcohol and without alcohol, and I much prefer the latter. I'm up at 5. Well, actually 4:45 this morning. I'm rarely in bed beyond after 5:30, and I just get up and I have some coffee and I start banging away on the computer. And I do have TV, great internet, download and upload, can stream Netflix and all that stuff. But strangely enough, I've maybe watched 4 movies in the last 2 months. So it's like there's family socializing, it's a little village, and I'll write more about that. So let me get into what I'm doing. So first of all, I had to refocus myself. So I spread so thin with the social media stuff. So, I mentioned Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Interestingly, Pinterest is my biggest following in terms of people who look at my stuff, because I get shadow banned so much on Facebook and Twitter. But on Facebook, I had, my personal wall, Free the Animal page, and I had 3 groups. The first one I started was as keto tards and then morphed into diet, health, and nutrition quackery. Then I had one that was something political tards or something. I get what the name was, which morphed into politically pro civilization. So politics, and then I had my cryptocurrency one. Altogether, a few thousand members, but the activity spreads me so thin, right? So I have disbanded those groups. If you're a member of the diet one and the political one, I've archived them. So everything is still there. You can still access anything that's there. You could share it. But there's no more activity on it. So everything is directed to my wall, Richard Nikoley. All these links are on my blog, freetheanimal.com, and the Free the Animal Facebook page. So I have 3 projects that I'm initiating. The first is a pledge site. So that's Patreon, and then mirrored on Subscribestar, since Patreon is run by SJW fucktards, just like Facebook and Twitter and all these other tech companies. And so when some basement dwelling wanker gets his pink panties in a bunch and throws up his soy milk breakfast and decides to ban me on Patreon, I've got Subscribestar. So, whichever you prefer, same content on either. There's various tiers. I'll put the links here. Now, what am I selling there? I'm selling only early access and some enhanced things, which most people aren't going to be interested in anyway. So one-on-one stuff, consulting, stuff like that. And those are limited in terms of people because my time is limited. But for the most part, I'm just selling. So everything that I will post there, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to post there, will eventually be posted open access on Free the Animal. You just don't know when. So that's kind of the hook, right? So the uncertainty, right? Sorry. So I've got 2 things that are on the pledge site, going to be on the pledge sites, or the pledge site mirrored, really. It's not 2 separate, it's just one thing. But 2 series. So the first is my Thai expat life. Stories, adventures, lessons, videos, pictures, food, the Thai food, the family, and so on. I'm like kind of a stepdad to 11-year-old and 10-year-old Thai girls, and kind of uncle to a 5-year-old boy. And so that's fun. That's one of the big reasons why I dropped the booze. So that's what you call something better to do. Go play with the kids and don't be an idiot. Set an example. So that's going to go up on the pledge site, eventually published to freetheanimal.com, but you don't know when. So it could be, I'm generally, something will be published there for at least 2 weeks. It could be up to like 3 months. It just kind of depends on my subjective sense of the value and how it might hook someone in to say, okay, I'll drop $5 a month. Shut the fuck up, I'll give you the $5. So that's one project for the pledge site. The other project for the pledge site is I'm gonna do this series that I'm gonna turn into a book called something, the working title is Donald Trump the Cat, like the 9 lives of the guy who keeps winning and winning and why he's gonna win in 2020. So I could play with that a little bit, but that's my working thing. So I gotta pump that out so that I get it out before all the mail gets lost on November 3rd. or there's a lot more male than people living in the country, or however this works out. Who knows? It's really fun sitting here in Thailand and watching the whole world go apeshit, where nobody really gives a fuck out here in rural, deep rural. They care. You know, virtue isn't bestowed here. Virtue is recognized, and the reason it's recognized is because there's the hard work and production to show for it. That's why. These are tough people out here, you know. No crybabies, except the little kids. And that's that's pretty fun. I've got great stories about that. Okay, but I'm gonna do a series that's gonna be freely available on Free the Animal. It'll be probably about 20-ish posts. You know, one a week, maybe 1.5 a week on average, something like that. Fat Loss Blueprint and Strength Blueprint. This is a series by Alex Leaf. Those in the paleo community, paleo whole food community might recognize that name. He's a master's degree nutritionist. I interviewed him on my blog once. He's a very smart guy. Calories count. Calories matter, etc., etc. And so that I'm going to put, and the reason I don't put that on the pledge site is because I do have an affiliate relationship. So I'm not interested in double dipping. If someone buys that program, then I get a piece of it there. Plus, because it is an affiliate program, I want it as widely disseminated as possible from the get-go. All right. The one thing I haven't figured out yet is this. Doing podcasts and videos, I dread doing them. I really do. But once I actually press go on the button, it changes, and I kind of enjoy it while I'm doing it. I just hate I hate fucking bumper music. I hate fancy graphics. I hate all this bullshit. All right. So if I can just press go, hit it, unedited, unscripted. And do it, and then pop the SD card in my computer and just hit the straight MP4 file, upload to YouTube. That's better. And maybe I'll do some audio only podcasts as well, and something. So anything else? Come see the new. Oh, I forgot one thing. The other thing I do that's freely available. And that's I'm calling it morning memes. So I did a post about it on Free the Animal yesterday. I'll put that up to give you an example. So I've got my trademark black and white. They're not really memes. They're like thought of the day sort of thing. They're more. I did one that's kind of meme form. I said that the most fear-driven animal on the whole world is a Democrat, something like that. So I wake up with thoughts, so I put them out there. They get simultaneously posted to Facebook, Twitter, both places, personal wall and Free the Animal page, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. And all those links are at freetheanimal.com right up in the top left corner, so you can find them and go from there to find them and stop in and comment or give me shit or something, or make a suggestion for one and I'll make it. So that's about all. I guess maybe I'll do this every couple times a week. It is kind of fun. Keep it to 10 to 15 minutes. All right, that's it. Bye. See you later.